Greetings and salutations. Here with my tarot cards on a Tuesday. Just feeling into the energy of this moment and opening up to whatever is here to be received. It's interesting. This last week, I've kind of felt on this high, and I don't know. Today, it's just been feeling. I don't know. This just not necessarily a heaviness. I feel like heaviness is really. It doesn't really give much information. A lot of things are heavy, but I don't know, there's just this feeling in my body that I can't quite put my finger on yet. So for me, in this moment, seeking clarity and wisdom within that, and trusting that whatever is coming through for me is something that is shared in some way or form within the collective, and trusting that this isn't just meant for me. Anyone watching this, coming across this, perhaps there's something here for you as well. Being on this 28-day journey of showing up in this space, showing up online, but not really. I don't think the online part is really the main aspect. It's really showing up, within the self, showing up to face the self, to allow myself to unmask, recognizing all the masks that are there, so just open in this moment to seeing what comes through. But I guess before getting into the cards, we can just pause in this moment and breathe, just being present with your breath. Feeling it as it moves in and out of your body. Just giving gratitude for that breath, that life force. That energy source. Just connecting in with that, feeling present with that. And just relaxing into the breath, relaxing into this moment, the energy that is being co-created in this moment, just feeling into that and setting the intention to call in what's needed in this moment, trusting that when we're open, exactly what's needed is what comes through. All right, and as I shuffle, just drop it into the heart space. Just feeling into what's present for you right now. What's present for me right now is just a bit of grief, some sadness. You know, when that like weight is kind of heavy on your chest and, you know, you feel like you want to cry and it's just kind of held there. It's kind of what it feels like. But I also feel myself kind of pushing that back, you know. Whew. Like, hold on just a little while longer. All right. And I think because I wasn't anticipating it before I started recording, you know, I've cried quite a few times on video before. And I guess, yeah, not generally anticipating it, but I think maybe because this was my tarot on a Tuesday post, which is one of my more consistent posts, I had kind of just anticipated, you know, coming on, pulling a card, and then kind of just sitting with that. But as I hit record, it was just like this greater awareness of what I've been feeling, you know, today, you know, since waking up this morning. But yeah, let's see what message comes through in this moment. Just wanting to come through right now. Maybe one more. Okay. Gratitude. Okay. All right. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. You know, the Queen of Pentacles, just kind of looking at it, that connection to nature, to self, that deep peace within self, and a sense of safety and security. And then with the Pentacles, I tend to associate that with like finances, and you know, that's been definitely an edge that has been coming up for me, you know. As I had mentioned in one of my videos before, you know, a couple years ago, I had to sell my condo and move back in with my parents, and right after that, I had big plans, you know. I had all these ideas of things I wanted to move forward with sharing my offering, figuring out exactly what that was in that process. But there was a lot more motivation moving forward in kind of the, like, I hate the word business. Like, business doesn't feel like what it is that I'm wanting to create, you know, because my offering is available to any and everyone, regardless of, you know, financial standing. You know, I don't have any set costs or prices. I am, you know, here, I think, incarnated in this time and space to be of service to the collective, and a big part of that is ensuring that, you know, there is accessibility. So generally what I try to do is everything I do is donation based, you know, and just trusting that, you know, what is needed will come. And honestly, so far it has been that way. You know, I haven't needed much. I've been able to you know, what I sold my condo for, you know, has been serving me very well these last couple of years. But you know, I have not been working, so there has been no income. And there was a huge shift after, I think, October 7th for me. My mind just kind of focused in there, and I lost sight of you know, what it is I was, or still am, I'm wanting to create and build. And then after that, I, you know, entered into a partnership, and that was a year. And I think even within that, it felt like a period of growth, of expansion that was needed. So there was a pause during that period of time. And you know, that relationship has transitioned out of partnership, and kind of finding myself in a space of, you know, reigniting that motivation to create and hold space, you know, and to share my offering, and trusting that, you know, in doing that, everything that is needed is going to, you know, flow in order to sustain, you know. And it's the fear of that, you know. And then I'm looking at this other card. Ooh, the sun. The Three of Pentacles, you know, again, Pentacles with the finances. And then this tapestry that's being woven, but it's not individual, you know, it's working together. And you know, that's been a big part, I think, for me. Like, I know that I am meant to be working in, building, creating, you know, thriving in community. Like, I don't believe that any of what it is I am wanting to create and build is, you know, solely me. You know, I know that there is something more. And I feel like, you know, this container messengers is really a big part of, you know, bringing that together, you know, and collaborating and co-creating with other beings that, you know, feel the same calling and pull in the same direction, you know, of building community, of holding space, of being of service to the people, right? There's so much shifts that are taking place right now in the world, you know, so many things that we're seeing that can, you know, create deep, I can't think of the word, but you know, there's so much happening that sometimes it can feel like we're not able to face it, but we have to, right? And we have to do the work within ourselves to be able to face it, to be able to look at the reality of what's happening, you know, and to prepare ourselves to meet that, you know. And a big part of preparing ourselves is building community, right? Learning how to sustain outside of these systems, right? Because as they are collapsing, which, you know, a lot of indications point towards, and, you know, yes, it's not going to happen tomorrow, right? But we cannot keep grasping on. We can't wait for it to be that moment where it actually is, you know, then it's too late. Right now we have a period of time where we're able to prepare, right? Where we're able to come together, put our minds together, our skills together, and to you know, find ways together to provide for ourselves, to provide for community, you know. Yeah, because I think what these last few years, you know, with everything that has been happening, all that we've been seeing, I think what it has been demonstrating to us is that the people in power are not here for the people, you know. They're here for their capitalist interests, you know. It's money, it's power, it's greed, right? And we are not at the center of any of their plans, you know. We are the collateral damage, you know, of them moving towards their goals, their interests. So it's important that we are recognizing that, and we are coming together and building within ourselves, you know, preparing to meet what we are going to face, you know. And remembering, and this is one that I'm gonna keep you know, pushing in, is that the work we're doing now is not just for us, right? This is for future generations. This is for our children, right? This is for our children's children. This is for, you know, down the line, right? We have to, you know, allow ourselves to look past it tomorrow, you know, because it's a long road ahead, you know, and there's a lot that we're gonna have to meet on that road, and we have to, you know, be ready for that. And we have to trust that we have everything that we need to face that, right? Because it's scary. It can be scary to look at what is coming, but I think it's scarier to look at what's coming and not be prepared, right? To not prepare ourselves, to not educate ourselves, to not train ourselves, to not organize, not come together with each other and realize that, like, we have to be in this together. We are in this together, you know. Yeah. I'm gonna read the messages. I kind of want to. So first we have Queen of Pentacles. Sip of water. Hydrate. All right, so light seer, a healer, a working parent, a self-made person, material wealth and abundance, strength in family and community, a kind and nurturing heart, groundedness, being down to earth, generosity. Shadow seer, financial stress, being self-absorbed, smothering others, helicopter parenting, overindulgence, work-home imbalance, materialism. This self-made queen reminds you to step into abundance by shifting any shadows you are holding on to around wealth and security. You are safe. Pay attention to your finances to level up your money game and give yourself permission to rise into the upper ranks. This is a positive message of creature comforts and happiness, and this earthly medicine ushers in a life well lived in the material world. Connect with nature to find your calm, healing, and rooted power, and harness the abundance that's available to you by bringing groundedness to your situation. Shower others with warm blessings from a charitable heart, as loyalty, family, and community are themes at this time. Your nurturing and down-to-earth approach will give stability and support to those in your life. Don't overextend your energy and avoid enabling others by over-mothering them. They must learn to walk on their own. Bring your self-worth and guidance and your glorious, powerful love. I enjoy my deeply connected life, and I lead it with an outpouring of warmth, abundance, and love. Wow. Just like in my body, just kind of felt like just this opening, but also this like relief, you know? It's like a deeper trust. Because, you know, with the idea of, you know, my financial situation and my situation in general, and, you know, from the outside looking in, you know, there's a lot of noise about responsibility, taking responsibility, being responsible, making logical, rational decisions that are considerate of, you know, those around you, and, you know, namely my daughter, you know, and that's generally the one that is always pushed out there, that, you know, you need to think of Charlie, you know. And the idea is that I'm not, you know, like the belief is that I'm not thinking about her, that I'm not considering her in everything that I do, but I am, you know. I want her to know that as she's getting older, as she's moving forward, that she is able to choose, you know, what feels right for her in her heart, in her soul, that she can follow that internal guidance, that she doesn't have to be afraid, you know, of following that path because it goes against the grain, or it goes against what society says is okay, you know. And I guess the fear is that, you know, like I want her to have that, but what if I'm not able to, you know, provide that, you know? And then the theme of family comes up, and, you know, there's definite tension that is there, you know, with myself and my dad in this moment, who is not currently speaking to me. You know, and I am actually okay within that. You know, I'm trusting that this is just the moment that we're in, and there is growth to be had, and that growth will come. You know, I am open to it. I am calling that in. But there is, you know, still some heaviness around that, you know. You know, one of the things, or I guess the fears or the worries that come up from, you know, the outside, is that I'm going to end up being a burden on my daughter, on my siblings, you know, as we age and get older. You know, this idea that I'm going to, I don't know. And I guess for me, what that brings up is, you know, there's always been a deep fear of being a burden on people. A big part of why I don't often reach out when I'm struggling. You know, even just
like having a heavy day, or, you know, wanting to talk about something, you know, not wanting to burden people with that, just knowing that people already have the stuff that they're moving through. And, you know, that's something I've been aware of and, you know, navigating through, working on. But yeah, you know, so it like activates that fear, you know, even though it's not necessarily a thought that's coming from within, it's an external voice coming in that's triggering some fears that are there, you know. And I don't know, I guess for me as a parent, you know, just thinking of my daughter, you know, and if she was in the place that I'm in, you know, you know, I wouldn't want to judge her within that, you know, just, you know, holding space, even if there are some fears, you know, offering guidance and support, you know. I don't know. I guess that it also just brings up some parent wounds that are there, you know. And then also realizing maybe some expectations that I have, you know, for how, you know, I would want my parents to show up, but also realizing that, you know, maybe my expectations are unfair, you know. Yeah. I don't know that I'm gonna read the rest of the cards. This has already been a pretty long video, so I'm gonna leave that there in this moment. But yeah. Gonna sit for a moment with all of that, and if you have made it this far, I appreciate you. Sending so much love.